Miss Funzie, you have opened your case to save your family. You are here to prove your 1-month-old baby, Smith-Irvin, is your boyfriend, Mr. Irvin's biological son. You say you and Mr. Irvin have 2 other children, and you plan to have this 3rd child. You blame his sister for stirring up his ridiculous doubts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Irvin, you say that Miss Funzie confessed to having an affair weeks before you learned of her pregnancy, and you believe that her 1-month-old son is not your biological child. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Funzie, you say your relationship is at stake?
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
My family's on the line. I love Jordan. We've been dating going on 7 years and been dating since the 10th grade. And the denying that he has towards my 1-month-old child, Joaquin, which we plan to have together, is causing problems with our relationship.
She did that. She did that to herself.
You say she did it to herself?
She cheated.
How did you find out she cheated?
Well, one day I couldn't sleep. So here it is, 4 in the morning. I seen her sleeping and her phone was right beside her. Some told me to just go through her phone. So I found out that she spent the night at her friend's house with this other guy.
But I came to him and let him know that I cheated on him.
After he found out, she always going out with her friends. He could never
go out with his friends too, also. Yes, he do.
No, he don't.
Yes, he do.
Hold on.
No, she did.
Hold on now. Miss Funzie, hold on now. You said you cheated. How did you end up cheating?
I cheated the night of my friend's dinner because I had wanted to get revenge for him cheating on me. And then once I talked to the guy and I hooked up with him the night of my friend's dinner, and we had used protection, and I had sex with him one time.
So you had sex with this man one time?
Yes, and I used protection.
And you used protection?
Yes.
If Mr. Irvin had never looked at the phone, if something didn't tell him to look at that phone, would you have told him about the cheating?
Yes, I was gonna come clean to him at the right time because we was already going through.
When was the right time?
Because he came to me when he had told me he cheated, and I would feel like I should come to him because I cheated.
So how soon after you found out she was cheating, confronted her,
I'd say
did you find out she was pregnant?
When we went to the mobile ultrasound, I wanted to see how many weeks she was, and when she came out with the paper, I couldn't understand the number of how many weeks she was. Like they drew the number in cursive or something.
They drew 1 week and 2 days, and you saw the lady hand me the paper off the bus. You parked right outside, and you saw her hand me the paper.
I didn't know if she was pregnant by me or someone else, so I just let it go.
By him. They all have knock knees.
Have you ever told this other man that he is the biological father?
No, Your Honor, I haven't talked to him since the day that I cheated on Jordan with him.
All right. So in this courtroom, we get to the truth. So this courtroom has tracked down this other man. He has submitted a statement to the court. It says, we eventually got each other's phone numbers and started texting. She told me about the things that was going on between her and Jordan. The first time me and her had sex, she came over and saw me. We had sex in Jordan's car.
That's a
and did use
somebody
protection.
Made a fake page. That's
you said
Jordan, that's a lie. You know that.
Hold on. Let me finish the statement. Let me finish the statement.
Mine ain't lying.
Jordan.
Why is you lying to me?
Jordan, I'm not lying to you.
Man, if this not my baby, I'm through with this relationship.
That's fine. That's fine.
When was Joaquin born?
He was born June the 20th.
June the 20th.
He was born June the 20th, 2018.
June 20th, 2018. So if your relationship with this other man was in October or November.
It was in November.
Well, that would have been a 7-month pregnancy. Miss Funzie, is there something that you just need to tell the court and be honest about?
It's gonna tell the truth.
So was it just a one-night stand?
No.
Or did you have sex with this other man more than one time?
Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, it was more than one time, or it was a one-night stand?
It was more than one time.
Okay. You lied. You lied to me.
Listen, let her explain it. She's telling the truth now. She's getting to the place where she's ready to talk about this, and this is good because this is what's going to clear the air. What was your relationship like with this other man?
It was just like I just wanted to get revenge. That's what the reason why I had sex with him more than one time, but it's like it ain't no relationship.
Is it true that the first time you used a condom and then the other couple of times or few times you did not?
Yes, we use condom all the time.
I saw you, Miss Irvin, you started to cry. What made you so upset?
Because they've been together for so long. Just be honest. Hey, I messed up. That's it. It's up to Jordan to accept it, whether it's his child or not. Your name on the birth certificate, why not? I ain't gonna question her motherhood. She a good mother to her children. My thing is, be honest. I did it. I messed up. That's it. I messed up.
It has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Winfield.
I knew it. I told you. I knew it wasn't his baby. When mama went to the hospital and seen that baby, she knew it wasn't. A mother know they child. A mother know they child. My mama went to the hospital when she had that baby and said, that is not my son's child.
Listen.
You wrong. Just how I'm wrong.
You wanted to have a baby by him.
Because you cheated without protection.
You lied about
So let's get some order.
If you gonna cheat, you want protection.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order.
You got what you want. He gonna put me out, y'all. He gonna move y'all.
Let's get some order.
Ma'am, you gotta stop.
Ladies,
You need to calm down,
ladies,
okay? Take a
listen.
deep breath.
We've arrived in the present with the truth. Mr. Irvin is not his biological father. Mr. Winfield is. That is the truth. It disgusts me that we get to this point in time and nobody's talking about how will we approach this other man and let him know he's the father. There's no, I apologize. I truly thought, there's nothing but arguing back and forth and it's just unnecessary. You have two other children together and a beautiful family you've made. The moment she decided she was gonna try to play your game better than you, she lost. And this baby loses because now this family is in jeopardy because of this. So now your child father is Mr. Winfield. Mr. Irvin, you are the legal father. You signed that birth certificate. Good intentions, bad result. There's no guarantee that the court is gonna take you off that birth certificate. He's 1 month old. If it's your intention, I would get after it quickly in a court of law in your home state. So you all got some things to work through. Mr. Lillard, you say you were forced to open this case after receiving a message last year from Ms. Holt's 20-year-old son, Delvin Holt. Ms. Holt, you say you have unsuccessfully tried for 20 years to get Mr. Lillard to accept responsibility for your son, Delvin, and today is the day he is finally going to accept the truth. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Lillard, tell me about your relationship with Ms. Holt. What do you remember? How did you meet?
Me and Miss Holt met back in 1997, summer school, high school. She'd go out to eat with my mom, I'd take out to eat. I was in love with her. I cared about her. You know, I experienced a lot of things with Miss Holt. She was the first for a lot of experiences. And
your first for a lot of experiences?
A lot of experiences.
Ms. Holt, tell me about the relationship. What do you remember?
We was in a good relationship. We really didn't have any problems. I love Darius. He know that. We did some things that we shouldn't have been doing at the time. And with those actions, we have Delvin now. So.
Okay.
So, Mr. Lillard, I could see your body language when Ms. Holt was testifying. What happened? Where did things go wrong?
Things were wrong when I caught her cheating.
Yes. What happened?
Well, on this very sunny, bright day, Miss Holt just decided not to be at school. Wasn't in none of her classes. We usually meet up in class, hallways, whatever. She wasn't there. So, you know, hey, me being me, I know something's going wrong. So I tell you what, let me skip school myself. I left school, walked 2 miles, to her family's home, knocked on their door, no answer.
It wasn't even
Look
like
through the
that.
peephole.
It wasn't even like that.
See shadows moving all around.
No.
Through the
no.
peephole?
Tiptoeing towards the door.
No.
So I parked myself on that concrete,
Your
sat
Honor.
Indian style for 4 or 5 hours till they had to come out.
It wasn't even in there that long, so you need to stop
Wait a
telling
minute,
stories
Miss
like
Holt, hold on now. This story is fascinating.
that. With
So
lies.
you sat there for 4 or 5 hours,
Sure
Mr.
did.
Lillard,
It was not that
waiting
long.
on Miss Holt to come out?
Come out. Somebody was
wasn't-
coming out, and I
it
knew it was
wasn't
gonna be
that
her and
long.
somebody.
So what happened when the door finally opened?
Door opens up. I see a fella that I end up knowing. Knew this guy. Me and him never had any issues.
did not.
He like, darn, he's shocked to see me. I'm shocked to see him. Like, darn, you know, he called out my name. I called his name.
We was gearing-
She's
Your
standing
Honor.
behind him, and she's mad
Your
because,
Honor.
yeah, you called. You wasn't
Your
expecting
Honor.
this. What is it to say?
So
That's
what
when our
does Miss
relationship
Holt
ended.
do?
That's when our relationship ended.
So you're saying that shortly after this encounter at the house where she wouldn't open the door, she says, I'm pregnant.
There you go.
Do you remember the day
Yes,
she
Your Honor.
told you?
Honestly, no, I tried to block out my mind after that. I was
After
hurt.
that-
Like I
after
said,
that,
that
we
was
was
my
pretty
first
much-
time ever.
Oh, so you had the puppy love heartbreak over
It
that.
was my first time ever experiencing that.
Ah.
Out
And
my
it was
mind. It was a
crazy,
wrap.
mad crazy.
I blocked out my mind, and I ain't never forgave her for it.
Darius was not present during any point of my pregnancy. He was not present any point of him being born. He was not there at all.
Nope.
But after Delvin was born, did you let him know?
I did let him know.
What was his response?
Of course, he still was upset in his feelings, so therefore he was like denying him. He's not mine. Darius knows that Delvin is his child.
So I want to hear from Delvin now. Delvin, what do you know about Mr. Lillard? There's a lot of conversation about what was going on before you were born. What do you know about him?
Your Honor, my mom has always told me he was my father, and I just basically came here to let him know I don't need a father, but I just really want to come to find out if he is so I can have closure, me and my mama, so.
But
And they look
Your Honor?
just alike. I mean, you can tell on the pictures, they look just alike. It's not a secret.
So what has this denial felt like?
Your Honor, it really it hurt me a little bit. Any kid needs a father, you feel me? A boy at that, so it was painful to know he didn't want to deal with me or nothing like that, but it brushed off growing up.
I can understand. We've all experienced the puppy love that went wrong, and that first breakup, oh, you just feel like you're not gonna get over it, and it seems like you haven't. But I need to say, do you really truly believe you are not Delvin's biological father, or are you just still so hurt because this was your first big love that it's a way to punish her, to never believe her, it's a way to punish her, to never buy in that this is your son?
you know what? The pressure, I really want to ignore it because I feel like I have enough to ignore it. That's not it. If I'm his father, I want to know. If I never got the paper back then, I left it alone. I got that paper. I ain't crazy. Just a lot that's been going on 20 years. And it's not my fault.
All right.
He's paying
And it's
for it,
not
I'm
my
paying
fault,
for
and
it.
it's not my
At
fault
the end of the day. And that's why I'm here, because this young man deserves it. That's why I did it.
In the case of Lillard versus Holt, when it comes to 20-year-old Delvin Holt, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Lillard, you are not the father.
Okay, baby. It's cool. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for putting you through that. I really am. Sorry.
Ms. Holt,
Yes.
I want you to understand, and I hope this moment has proven to you that your son's gonna stand by your side regardless.
Yes.
And I say this to say, it's time for you to be honest. Ms. Smith, you open your case today because you say a high school romance with the defendant led to the birth of your 4-year-old daughter, Adriana.
Yep.
You testify that you are 100% certain he fathered your child, and once proven today, you want him to step up as he does with his other kids. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Womack, you claim that there was nothing romantic about the casual hookups you had with the plaintiff, and you deny you fathered her daughter. You say there are many other possible fathers, and until you have proof, you will not claim another man's child. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. If she was 100% sure that she was my baby, why wait 3 years to tell me? Someone texts me out of the blue, 3 years later, I have your baby, and I just accept it. I can't do it.
So you got a text. This is the text. Miss Smith says, you know I had your baby. And you write back, when was this? And then Miss Smith says, 2015. And Mr. Womack says, and why you think it's mine and just now saying something? So how were you feeling to get a text like that?
It really upsetted me because after all this time, I look like the bad person. I look like I don't want to be in her life.
And you feel like he's making no effort to get to know your daughter or have a relationship?
No, Your Honor. I am 100% sure that Mr. Womack here is my daughter's father. And I want him to step up and be a father to my daughter.
How did you all meet and what was the nature of your relationship?
We was in high school. He was like the all-star, basketball player, football player, and I'm just like, a regular old freshman. So me and Mr. Womack, start having sex.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
And then that was just like, did you date? Or what do you mean you just started?
We try each other DMs, like, messenger. So.
Oh, that's how it starts?
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't even go to dinner or nothing? You just go in the DMs?
Yes, ma'am.
That's just nasty. So we just go in the DMs. Y'all got it way too easy, Jerome.
Right.
You don't even have to take nobody to dinner anymore.
You know how much money I spent?
And all you needed was the DM.
Dude was DM. Man.
Anyway, so this happens. It's not a relationship. It's just sex.
Yes, ma'am.
How many times did you have sex?
A lot.
It was 3, Your Honor.
No,
3 times?
3 times.
No, it wasn't, Your Honor.
I can count
Okay.
on one hand 3 times, Your Honor.
Well, it only takes one hand to count to 3. All right, so tell me about the times you remember when you all had sex.
One time was after a party.
Okay.
One time was in my room at my mom's house when she was away.
Okay.
And the third time was on the back porch.
All right, and at some point, you find out you're pregnant?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take me to that day. What happened?
My mother felt that I wasn't, feeling well. I was supposed to go to church that Sunday. We didn't go to church. Found out I was pregnant November 23rd. I didn't, tell Mr. Womack at the time because I told my ex.
So at that time, were you purposefully leaving Mr. Womack out? Were you purposefully saying, I'm just going to tell my ex he's the father and I'm not going to even think about Mr. Womack? Or did you forget about Mr. Womack?
Only reason why I didn't, point the finger at Mr. Womack was because every time that, me and Mr. Womack would have a sexual encounter, he would say, I pulled out. So it was to the point that I put the pregnancy on my ex.
This is exactly why young people don't need to have sex.
She also slept with other family members.
How did that just jump out of nowhere? How could it be a family member's baby?
She was messing around with him.
With the family member?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you messing around with a family member, Miss Smith?
Yes, Your Honor. But it wasn't during the time that I got pregnant with my daughter.
When I was messing with her, it wasn't just me and her ex. She was messing around. It was like it was a sport for her.
Were you having sex with Mr. Womack's family member during the same window of time that you were also intimate with him?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Womack had told me, he said, you could have slept with one of my cousins, and that's why the baby looked like him. I said, well, how does that happen? Oh, don't worry about that. I said, well, which cousin you think my daughter looked like? You know, it's pretty much that he just didn't
Well,
want to
you
claim
should
my...
know who it would be. What is this?
I have another cousin here who I tell things to, and he knows about her.
Sir, please stand up and step up to this podium. State your name for the court.
Cedric Sherman.
Mr. Sherman,
Yes, ma'am.
please tell me you're gonna have some testimony.
Well, to just shed a little light on the situation.
Please do.
You know, everybody knows her as, you know, the go-to girl, so it really wasn't any, like, you know,
You say
finger
she was
pointing.
the go-to girl.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth. Go-to for sex?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so you got labels like that. That is the go-to girl. What do you do with? You just call the go-to girl? How does that work?
I mean, when one guy done messing with her, the next guy, you know, try to slide in or something.
Oh, so one person would have sex with her, and then if one of the friends say, I want to have sex, you all would say, well, you know you could call the go-to girl.
Yes, ma'am.
And how would you have her
Okay.
number? You share it?
They're DM.
She a sexaholic.
Were you that girl, Miss Smith?
I mean, yes, Your Honor, I'm not gonna lie about it. I was, because I figured, because, you know, I'm trying to fit in. So I was, you know, messing around with, you know, guys because I wanted to fit in. Because, you know, everybody would, you know, bully me or whatever. So it was just to the point that I thought just doing that then, but I know I was doing it the wrong way to fit in, you know, so.
Okay, so
how would I know?
we know now that that's not appropriate, right?
No, Your Honor.
And that's no way to fit in. That's a way to end up in paternity court. When it comes to 4-year-old Adriana, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Womack, you are the father.
Just feel bad because I should have been there. I'm ready to be her father, Your Honor. She deserves it.
Yes, she does. I believe you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do and be there for this little girl.
Yes, ma'am.